Alright, Asphalt 9 Legends at number 1 by Gameloft, for those of you unfamiliar, is actually the 9th main installment in the Asphalt series, and in comparison to previous ones, it actually comes with a hefty amount of new features. Not just new modes and stuff, but a solid racing game at first, the best I'm aware of on mobile, one with a great music, great gameplay, and the kind of graphics that are considered as significantly improved compared to its predecessors. If you like racing games, there is literally no reason not to get this one, period.
My own. What is your path to becoming a legend?
Coming up behind that, we've got Real Racing 3 by Fire Monkeys and EA Games. Tell you the truth, regardless of the rating, this is literally one of the best racing games you will ever get to play on your cell phone. First and foremost, it is fun, challenging, filled to the brim with content with some brilliant gameplay physics. I would say it even end up saving some money playing this one instead of Asphalt 9. Overall, this game is, without a doubt, in a few ways better than what you'd expect from a racing game on a cell phone. Check it out. Coming up at number 3, we have CSR2 Real Driving Simulator, technically the third iteration after CSR Racing and CSR Classics. Literally, if there is a better sim racing mobile game, I go ahead and challenge you to find it. This game has the best graphics, controls, competition that you'd ever get to play anywhere else. I actually started playing this one almost 5 years ago. I can tell you it does get intense, but at the same time actually pretty easy and fun to play, and most of all, it is free. So give it a try. Beach Buggy Blitz, on the other hand, by Victor Unit, is so far, hands down, the best beach buggy game ever released. For those of you new to this series of kart racers, this one actually goes back to more than 10 years ago. Beach Buggy Blitz, though, is truly awesome in literally every single element. Like, it even runs better than the Switch version. It's got some pretty awesome cars with great power-ups. Each race will technically takes you on a different path too. All I can say, this game could use just a bit more content. Check it out.
The Rebel Racing Tournament dropped its flag today.
Coming up at number 5, it's the one and only Rebel Racing, the one racing game with the aim to become the fastest racer in the USA. A pretty fun game, but definitely a pay-to-advance kind of game, but honestly one that never stops to amaze you in terms of gameplay and content. Controls are actually pretty easy, races are a tad too easy actually. It's got great cars, good graphics, and the game's constantly getting more updates. Check it out, just in case you missed it. Alright, Moving on, it is Need for Speed No Limits. Technically the continuation of a path started by Need for Speed Most Wanted and Underground, hereby offering an experience that is perfectly adapted to touchscreen devices after all. Here's the thing, this game has the kind of actual mechanics that just makes you feel that you're doing something. There is no pop-up ads in the game, although you could play the old pay-to-win trick, which actually does deliver a hefty amount of content in return. The game's pretty fun to play. It's also got the graphics. All I can think of to say is give it a try for some like 10 minutes and you'll definitely find out what you're dealing with. Yeah. Mario Kart Tour, on the other hand, well, obviously is a kart racing game, the 14th entry in the old Mario Kart series by Nintendo itself. This game actually comes with a bit of a twist, which is the objective is to just reach the finish line this time around. It's just a great game, what can I say? If you just like being able to play Mario Kart on your phone, this is actually a really well done game, albeit with some pretty hard controls to master. But overall, like I mentioned, really fun. The graphics, the tracks, and the music, and even the backstory is something you definitely want to try at least once. Check it out. Coming up behind that, we have Grid's Autosport by Codemasters in the third game in the Grid series. There are people that actually argue that this is the best racing game ever, but not really. The controls over here in the game are actually hard as you know. You could get used to it though. The graphics, as you can see, are insane, like console quality, and it's just, I would say, a perfect kind of example of why sometimes it's so much better to be able to purchase a game instead of just having it for free. Pair this one with a controller and you will actually have a true console experience with this one. On the other hand, we have Asphalt Extreme, also known as Asphalt Extreme Rally Racing and Action Racer, and by the one and only Gameloft, and actually Netflix's property since earlier this year. First off, it's exactly as described. The game has 0 ads, so it might as well just be the best game in the Asphalt series. However, the multiplayer here just isn't still quite there, maybe a bit hard to earn money as well, but definitely a well-made game in a lot of ways and actually does a lot of good old school stuff too. Coming up at number 10, we have Horizon Chase, technically a tribute to classic arcade racing games as described by developers, a love letter to all retro gamers. One with actually a pretty addictive darn gameplay inspired by the greatest hits from all the way back in 80s and 90s. Horizon Chase, however, is a paid game. You can try the game for free though, but one that probably worth every single penny spent. Not a pay-to-win game in any way though, it is challenging and you can easily call it a gamer's game. Guys, up next it is Need for Speed Most Wanted. For those of you unfamiliar, basically an open world racing game by Criterion and EA Games, and it simply takes on the gameplay style of the first Most Wanted game. This is technically a complete package of the old game with the added ingredient of microtransaction. The graphics actually age pretty well. The controls are actually best than a lot of other racing games on mobile devices, and it is actually a hell of a lot of fun. Check it out. Moving on, we've got GT Racing 2, the real car experience by Gameloft. This is basically the sequel to GT Racing Motor Academy, hence the game is pretty similar to real racing games, specifically Real Racing 3. It includes a single player mode and online, quick matches, takedowns, you name it. Generally, it is a great game with great graphics and a variety of cars. The one thing is just the steering sensitivity is just a bit too touchy, so I just recommend the first person view here and actually do go ahead and pay to get a little extra money. And last but not least, we've got CarX Highway Racing, technically a mix of lifelike physics, which has actually been the main focus with the game, and realistic graphics. Then go and throw in some extreme driving and traffic-packed roads and you get what we have here called CarX Highway Racer. Overall, the game is really fun. The free version could be a bit annoying with the ads, so feel free to subscribe to this one. If I could, I'd give it a 10 out of 5 personally, and only just because of the story. Check it out.